Introducing the officials of this match. First referee, Ryan Vincent Corpus. Second referee, Joy De Imus. Now let's call on the starters of NU-ARCHIPELAGO Builders. Starting off with jersey number 3, Ahmad Fahani Abdul. At number 12, Rensmel Tagibolos. Number 14, Edgar Floresca. Jersey number 17, Leo Ordiales. At 21, Jan Abanilla. Wearing jersey number 24, Mac Bandola. Their team captain and libero, number 15, Marco Maclang. Calling on the starters for the Philippine Air Force. Starting off with their team captain, Airman 2nd Class Jesse Lopez. Jersey number 1, Airman Ralph Calasi. Jersey number 7, Airman 1st Class Rodolfo Labrador. At number 9, Airman 1st Class Ruben Inaudito. Wearing jersey number 13, 2nd Lieutenant Mike Abria. At number 18, Airman 1st Class Edwin Tolentino. Their libero, number 8, Sergeant Renz Melgar. Head coach is Technical Sergeant Jimson Mirza.
Welcome back to the Spiker Surf here in the Paco Arena. Take a look at the starters here for the NU-ARCHIPELAGO Builders. Again, a very young group in comparison to their much veteran opposition here today. We featured Mac Bandola just a while ago, so make sure you watch out for him. Could make a big difference here today. Trying to look for win number 1 para sa defending champions of this Spiker Surf actually. Then ito naman sa kabila, the Philippine Air Force Airmen, Renz Melgar, the one we featured a while ago. It was a problem last time around in terms of floor defense. We'll see whether or not they can change things around here in their 3rd game of the conference. Still looking for game number 1. Thank you for joining us here, Air Force, to get it started. Playing from right to left of your screens, and of course NU going the other way. And the first point will go the way of NU.
A net touch violation to be called on Air Force in the start of the match.
Again, Paolo De Rosario here alongside Doc AJ Parea calling this one for you. Both teams eager to get a maiden victory dito sa conference na to. And I'm sure you see a lot of energy, and we're seeing that here as Tagibolos rather, getting the point at the net.
Yeah, so that overpass from Inaudito. So as we mentioned a while ago, it was the problem in their previous game against Imus is their floor reception.
Well, let's see whether or not they can address that early on. Siyempre, grabe rin ang pride ng Airmen. What can they show the kids here today? Inaudito, no good. Floresca with a setup. And the hit just too strong. Was there a touch though? The referee trying to get more clarity. Tawag na to. Again, very early on, but a lot of energy being shown by both teams.
So we already have a challenge system here in the Spiker Surf, but I don't think teams would be using it.
Not this early, at the very least. 2-1 so far, and it looks like the point will go to the Airmen. Tolentino here, Edwin Tolentino on the service line para sa Air Force. Floresca with the setup once more. The blocking sends it out.
Bandola, even with the triple block, able to use it to his advantage.
So the defense has been a problem for the Philippine Army, Philippine Air Force rather. And let's see whether or not NU can take advantage here. Siyempre, as I say that, sends it long for a service error. So when we talk about youth versus experience here, for those wondering, ba't wala tayong kilala dito sa NU? This is their Team B. Still developing, still trying to crack in Team A. Majority of their Team A is actually in Taiwan right now. We'll get an update on that later from our Doreen Suay Baguio. The Air Force trying to get going here. The back set, the push, no good. Better defense para sa Air Force. On the back row, just got to it. Floresca with the set. Great dig, boy pa dito. Labrador. Off the block.
Well, Labrador just going for a soft roll shot. Good intention there as they were already off system. But gotta give a lot of credit to that defense by Jesse Lopez.
Take a look at that again. As the Air Force set the point straight back. So neither team getting away from each other here. This is Abdul para sa NU. For serving three. Very early on here. Labrador again.
Labrador showing his UAAP form. Inabot ko pa ito, Pao.
So anong season yan?
Probably around 72. 72 was my last year.
Okay.
And I think he was the budding player of FEU during that time.
Benny Naudito with the serve, and that's just a bit long. So service errors, a bit of a problem here for both teams.
Yeah, 2 service errors already for Air Force, limiting their opportunity to take a lead in this match.
As mentioned a while ago, si Mac Bandola, siya yung featured player natin kanina para sa NU. From the back, and the Air Force finally finding their rhythm.
And there's a slight advantage for Air Force with Jesse Lopez calling the shots here as their setter, because Jesse is one of the assistant coaches for NU, so he knows how these kids
Kumbaga scouted talaga.
Yes.
Again, from the back, that time Labrador couldn't make them pay. A chance here, the blocking. There, present para sa Air Force.
Mike Abria introducing himself with that stuff against Ordiales.
This is in sharp contrast to what we saw last time from the Air Force. Again, so much energy against the younger guns of NU. And that time sending it straight to the net. So Air Force will double up their lead here, 7-5.
So Air Force showing that they're one of the contenders in this league. They're a very decorated team in the past here in the Spikers turf.
Again, collectively, siguro kung i-add natin yung mga years of experience in this Air Force team, siguro it would equal maybe 2 times as much as what this NU team has. Very young group. But as we mentioned that, of course, service error again for Air Force. Both teams not serving it particularly cleanly to start out with. And an ace off the hands of Tolentino.
Tolentino kind of hesitated. He thought that the ball was sailing out, so he didn't establish his platform early.
And problema ng Air Force in last game, gave up too many aces for their liking. Almost impossible to win with that type of floor defense. Floresca again with the setup, and just enough there para sa NU. Si Abanilla just pushing that across over the hands of the blockers. And quick break here, 8-7 to score, NU with the lead.
Paolo and Doc AJ, NU fans may be wondering right now where Joseph Bello is, why he's not playing for NU, and it's because Joseph Bello and Brian Aleco are currently in Taiwan until the 11th for their training camp in preparation for the UAAP. Nakwento din ni Coach Dante na Joseph Bello turned down his invitation to play for the national team to focus nga on his UAAP stint. Meanwhile, Christian Floresca is taking Joseph's place as NU's playmaker at dahil first time nitong si Christian maglaro as the team's main setter, he shared na kabado daw talaga siya heading into this game versus the Air Force. Paolo and Doc AJ, how do you think this will change how NU will play tonight?
Thank you very much, Doreen, and of course with the new setter in tow here for NU. I'm sure they're confident because they see him in practice, but then how do you think that big factors here dito sa competitive debut niya?
Yeah, and he's up against none other than Jesse Lopez on the other side, who's probably his mentor right now.
So let's see whether or not make a difference. Oh, and as I said, Floresca trying to find Abdul. Just a bit short there. So makita natin ulit. A bit of creativity there, but then the timing just a bit off para kay Abdul. Tied at 9 apiece here. But sa kabila, the back set, and it looks like a net touch.
Net touch violation to be called on Tagibolos. And I like how Jesse Lopez is commanding the Air Force right now. He's trying to go for a lot of speed plays.
Well, 10-9 right now in favor of the Air Force. And Air Force now lead by 2. Again, para sa NU, last time around, a bit of consistency problems in their last game. Able to compete but then not finish. As you mentioned, Jesse Lopez, a veteran's veteran here dito sa liga na to. Net defense much improved, and syempre, kung sinabi ko yun, NU making mincemeat out of that.
It's gonna be tough to put up a single block against Abdul, who is a lefty, has so much angles to choose from.
Of course, with a left-handed player, may iba yung angles, and sometimes you have to adjust in almost every possible way, and that one will still go to NU, who tied the ball game at 11 apiece here in the first frame.
Good intention on the part of Lopez, but Tolentino just overcooks it a little bit. He saw that the middle blocker was delayed, so he went for a sharper angle.
And of course, NU trying to hold them back. Rather, the Air Force trying to sneak that in, but that's just a bit too long. And I believe there will be a challenge, and it'll be the first challenge of the day. It's the first game natin. None of the challenges were used, as the Navigators stayed undefeated. And the Airmen will use their first challenge here.
Yeah. You know, Dito going for a challenge. He knew that the ball was in. Even Melgar, the libero, agrees.
Immediately, as soon as he hit that and nakita niya na the point would have gone to NU, immediately turned to the bench and was convinced that it was a ball in, ball out. So they're checking that in right now. Of course, the Philippine Air Force, again, disappointed in their first few games, especially the last one, considering that they did look a bit older compared to yung opposition nila. But here they are showing not just the appropriate amount of energy, but even more against a young NU squad.
Yeah, showing more athleticism right now.
Point challenge natin.
No, way in.
Clearly in. Like, it's so in that it almost is not part of that shot. And the Philippine Air Force will gladly take that point.
As we all know, Ruben Inaudito, one of the pioneers of the golden age of NU in the UAAP, as well as Edwin Tolentino, who's serving right now.
Got a lot of connections between NU and Air Force. As Labrador first to it. So makita natin ulit.
Labrador showing his MVP form currently at 3 out of 5 attempts on the net.
Tolentino continues to stay on the service line. Floresca. And just not enough there at the net.
Bandola with a tip shot caught the hands of Inaudito. Jesse Lopez was already gearing up for the pancake save. Had it not touched Inaudito's hand, would have been there in time.
And another ace here as Tolentino unable to handle that. That's actually the second ace that comes off his hand. And if I'm not mistaken, they gave up around 8 aces last time around itong Air Force, something that they want to improve on in this game. But so far, 2 already para sa NU. And Labrador showing a lot of muscle.
Labrador a little too late on the approach, but making up for it with his power.
The single block. There's not enough coverage there. Kalasin with the serve. Again, that has been a favorite look para sa NU, going for that over and over again, and they use it to tie it up.
Yeah, credits to Ordiales for pulling the block of Abria, leaving Inaudito on a single block against Bandola.
And Mac Bandola, 8 points last time around. Could have a lot more. Floresca with the setup, and no one there to connect. Nip and tuck here between these two, as we see this misconnection.
A little too high on the set from Floresca.
Again, coming in as a bit of a backup here, Floresca. Baptism through fire, as that was just enough for NU to get it off the touch.
Bandola just using the block, just wiping the ball out of it. The ball was a little too short for him.
Bandola for the serve here. Powerful serve. And one that just is a bit too long. Ball is out, 16-15 in favor of the Air Force, looking for their first win of a frame here in this conference. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Paco Arena for your Spikers Turf. Again, the Philippine Air Force looking for their first set here to win in the Open Conference. They have yet to win a frame. And they are on the way to doing that here. So far, so good. Pero isa lang yung lamang nila against the very young NU-ARCHIPELAGO Valley Builders. And for some people, this might feel like an alumni game. Air Force versus NU. Kasi karamihan sa kanila galing NU. Tolentino able to double up their lead. 2-point lead courtesy of Tolentino.
Yeah, Tolentino showing his court smarts. He's not known for power, but he has good vision and he can see all those spots that are blank in the opponent's court.
Better defense here coming from the Philippine Air Force as Tolentino tries to go for it again, and off the blockers, NU scrambling.
Air Force now with perhaps their biggest lead in the match, 18-15. Tolentino unfazed by those triple block.
Tolentino, you mentioned it, unfazed, will strike. Oh, and what a reply there coming from NU.
Ordiales with that crossbody quick.
Let's take a look at that again and syempre watching that live, slow mo na yan, ha? Imagine seeing that live right in front of you. Kaya punta na kayo dito sa Paco Arena. 16 serving 18 here. Tolentino again. At that time, Floresca with the setup. And the connection just not there para kay Abanilla. (19-16) pabor sa Philippine Air Force, looking for their first victory here. Their first set, actually. Aklang with the setup. Off the block. Point goes to NU.
Abanilla making up for that previous error. That spike against the block of Jesse Lopez.
Si Abanilla, also nicknamed Jam Jam. See if we can hear more from him later on. Tolentino saying that they got it off the blockers. And the point will go to the Air Force. Si Tolentino will claim the point. And according to him, yung nickname niya is Toyo.
Yeah.
Powerful hit there. Nothing Labrador could do.
Abanilla back-to-back points for NU.
I'm starting to think that Jam Jam is a description of how he plays, because that was a jam. Coming from Dumaguete, 21 years young, and sends that straight to the net. And all of a sudden, the Air Force are 4 points away from claiming their first frame of the conference. And if you're NU, you don't want them to build any momentum whatsoever. Because once they smell blood in the water, talking about the Philippine Air Force, you know that they're going to pounce. Arvin Avilla will check in here for the serve. Floresca with the setup again. And NU have been finding joy on that left side.
And that's Bandola's 5th out of 9 attempts from the left wing, showing why he's the multi-awarded junior UAAP bullpup.
Going to the wing, off the blockers.
Dito joins the scoring tally with that off-system attack from the right.
Take a look at that again as Dito able to get that through. (22-19), the Air Force trying to consolidate their lead, and they do just that.
And Abria shutting down Ordiales for the second time.
And you call for time here. Let's take a look at this again, though. The action at the net. The block, the single block getting it done. Now let's listen in the huddle.
Kahit malaki ka. Kasi, komportable siya dito eh. Okay, di ba sabi ko nga sa'yo, kung saan tayo advantage? Di ba? Pag gusto mo papaluin siya, pabikukin mo o tumba tayo. Hindi dito sa harapan ng quicker. Okay, nagkakaintindihan? O, tapos ang block natin, guys. Ang block natin, lagi kayong static eh. Di ba? Timing lang muna. 1, 2, 3. Pag pinalo, tsaka nyo pupuntahan. Ha? Ang dami mo lang error, ha? Ang dami mo na, ha? Sige.
Let's go! Laban! NU!
Well, net defense going to be an issue here para sa NU, or at least they're trying to focus on that. And what else did you hear from that, Doc?
Yeah, and he's giving instructions to Floresca about the position of the quick attacks. To avoid just giving a quick attack right smack in the middle where the opposing middle blocker is just camping. So asking him to do some B-quicks or some slides just to make the opposing middle move around.
Kalisin with that serve, and point will go to NU because that was off the block.
Bandola 5 straight points out of 5 attempts.
And Bandola clearly the favored danger man dito para sa NU. You know, dito, that was a good hit there. And almost fooling and actually doing so. The entire NU defense. And it's always a great occasion when your libero finds a way to score. And Melgar, quick celebration there. Ito naman si Ancheta, trying to serve for the frame. Air Force looking to claim their first set of the conference here, the 2023 Spiker Surf Open Conference.
Another product of NU, and if I'm not mistaken, also part of the coaching staff of NU.
This is for the frame. Sends that just a bit long. At buhay pa dito ang NU.
Ranran Abdila also seeing action right now. You're wondering where he was early on.
Bandola with the serve. Go to the wing. Drop shot, no good. Melgar gets to it. And there it is, the first frame para sa Philippine Air Force, 25-21 against the very young NU-ARCHIPELAGO Volley Builders. And this is how they won it. Finding a way to just get that angle despite the two blockers in front of him. And the Philippine Air Force will take frame number 1. 25-21, don't go away. Welcome back here to the Spiker Surf Open Conference. The Philippine Air Force taking frame number 1, 25-21 against NU. Let's take a look at some of the highlights here. Doc AJ, your thoughts here on what was a competitive first frame for both these teams?
Air Force off to a good start, although for most of the first part of set 1, NU was on the lead, but towards the middle, Air Force found their flight and was able to maintain a 2-3 point lead all throughout to the end. But despite giving 5 service errors, Air Force was more than able to compensate for it, especially with attacks coming from Tolentino and Labrador from the wings. Abria contributing in the blocking department with 2 solid blocks. On the other hand, NU was still relying on Bandola for most of the attacking. Abarilla was there to contribute some points off the wings, but it's not enough, and much more to see from the middles like Tagibolos or Diales, and from the opposite, Abdul. if they want to snatch a set against Air Force.
Interesting considering yung blocking numbers ng NU. They are one of the better blocking teams numbers-wise dito sa liga na to. But then here, 0 blocks early on against an Air Force team that really was struggling attacking throughout the entire conference so far, albeit it's only been 2 games. So tignan natin if that will revert to normal or if we're going to see just a brand new Philippine Air Force rather throughout the rest of this game. And of course, para sa NU, a lot of adjustments have to be made, as we mentioned a while ago, as Doreen mentioned a while ago, playing Floresca, who wasn't the starting setter for this team throughout the conference so far. And of course, baptism through fire here. Let's see if there's any improvement. We asked about the blocking a while ago, and there it is, NU with a block point.
Tagibolos, or rather Floresca, being able to read the pipe attack.
Of course, the Floresca says that his greatest achievement in volleyball so far is being part of the NU volleyball team. Of course, a great achievement to be had. And that one off the block, and all of a sudden NU out for blood here.
Mandola continues his streak in the attack. Just using the blockers to his advantage, which he has been doing since set number 1.
Jam Abanilla. Not that time. Great save there though from Hernandez. What did Air Force do here? Block sends that back. And found a way to be saved. Lopez with the setup to the wing. Boy Padito, great rally here so far. Abanilla.
Vanilla finally ends that rally with that power tip to zone 1.
Of course, Abanilla with a push shot there. Was actually able to eye that spot. Found it a bit open. 3-0 start here para sa NU. Great start for them as Floresca's back on the service line.
So this has been the story in their previous encounter against Navigators. They would usually start really strong.
Sends that the way back. Jesse Lopez on the service line here. Abdul with the push. Go back to Abdul. Lopez with the setup. And that'll be a net touch there. Now Dito, his momentum took him straight to the net.
Ball was set too tight for Dito. He's trying to sweep it off the block, but his momentum was too strong forward.
A 4-1 here para sa NU. Great start so far. Jam Abanilla. Lopez, better set there. A good defense shown by NU. And that one just too long.
Kalasin was too close to the net. Not having enough room for an arm swing.
And NU here out to blitz Air Force here early. This is a very quick 5 points. Abanilla 4 attack points already to his name. And a much needed reply para sa Air Force.
And finally, Air Force now in the tally and scores of attack. Care of that spike from Inaudito.
Just off the knee.
They're passing good early on. It's just that they're not converting to attacks.
Edwin Tolentino 4 attack points already. And another service error. The first para sa Philippine Air Force.
Something the Air Force should minimize here in the second set. Otherwise, NU will continue to lead.
Tagibolos here para sa NU to serve. And you know, we were asking about the blocking here of NU. After not having a single block point in the first frame here, they are already a couple to their team's name.
Ordiales doing a good job reading the set of Jesse Lopez.
Gibolos with the serve again. Again, a net defense here. Really activated. And so is the floor defense on that occasion. Bandola. At that time, Lopez with the setup. They go back to Bandola, who took advantage of what looked like a little miscommunication there.
Bandola continues to score for NU.
Well, 8-2, what a blitz here para sa NU. So we're going to go to our first technical timeout in frustration para sa Philippine Air Force. Don't go away.
Paolo and Doc AJ, did you guys know that after winning the PNVF with Dasmariñas back in 2021, Renz Melgar had no plans of playing this sport again as he wants to pursue a different passion of his, which is culinary arts. That was his plan last year, to get into a culinary course abroad. But fate seems to have other plans as his application was not accepted and he was led to the Air Force as a reservist. And now that he's here, Renz shared that playing for the Air Force has rekindled his love for the sport. But he is still applying for that culinary dream, and if he gets it, he says that he will have to leave this team. What are your thoughts on that, Paolo and Doc AJ?
Well, Doreen, I would always say follow your dreams, but then if it leads you to love also, like the love for volleyball, it's also not bad to follow that too. But here we have the Philippine Air Force just finding a spot there and getting a point back. So, interesting conundrum there. Pero syempre,
It's all about timing.
yeah, it's all about timing. Right place, right time. You'll get there. And that one just left a bit short here in the Philippine Air Force. A couple of points off the trot.
A much needed breather for Air Force. Abdul just over eager on that attack, sending it straight to the tape.
Calasin with the serve. Bandola. Just sends it a bit wide. So the Philippine Air Force all of a sudden are within 3 points.
Bandola not being able to convert with that off-system attack.
Calasin again with the serve. Bandola. Oh, make no mistake about that one. Bandola, I'm sure enjoyed that one.
Bandola making up for that previous error. Once again, Ordiales being able to bait Mike Abria, leaving just one blocker against Bandola.
Abdul with the serve. And it sneaks in another service ace. The first in this frame para sa NU. Already building on a couple that they had in the first one.
Abdul struggling a little bit in the front line, but making up for it with that service ace.
And you know, much needed para sa NU because Air Force were starting to build a bit of momentum here. Ooh, and the blocking from Ordiales and Bandola combining to just shut the door.
Once again, a block against Inaudito.
A little that Air Force could do there. As Abdul on the service line here. Lopez with a quick. And Bandola unable to move that across.
And Abria puts a stop on the bleeding with that power tip from the middle.
Good fight being shown here by the Philippine Air Force as Abdilia will check back in. Haven't seen a lot of Abdila in the first frame. In fact, it's a big credit to the Philippine Air Force for taking set number 1 without one of their heavy hitters, at least on paper. Sends that straight to the net, though.
Beno Concheta with his second service error. If I remember correctly, he already also committed a service error in the previous set.
Macbandola on the service line. A bit too strong.
So far, an error they can afford with a 5-point lead.
Of course, can the Air Force capitalize here? Tolentino got to it first. And just a 4-point lead round right now.
Tolentino just reaching for that overpass.
Labrador with the serve again. Was 8 serving 12. Jam Abanilla. Still a chance here for the Air Force. Ranran Abdilla off the blockers.
Ranran Abdilla introducing himself right away.
Just a reminder that class is permanent. Able to get that off the block. Labrador with the serve again. And this time the block unable to keep it in.
Good read by Tolentino. Just that Ordiales had too much power to swipe it off his block.
Ordiales with the serve, and that's just too wide and long.
And that's the third service error for NU. Their service errors letting Air Force catch up.
We're able to get that across. Jam Abanilla, not that time. From the back. Abdilla. And by hook or by crook, he finds different ways to score.
Abdilla showing his beach volleyball smarts. He's a natural right side for beach volleyball, so these kinds of off-roll shots are just natural for him.
Can you tell a beach volleyball player when they go into the indoor, as a service ace there goes the way of Air Force? Can you tell by the way they move, the way they hit, that they are a beach volleyball player?
Yeah, with Ranran, he saw that it was an off-system attack, so he looks at the court first before he makes a shot. That's one of the trademarks of beach volleyball. And of course, his complexion right now.
On the back this time, and NU able to pad on to their lead here. They needed that. Remember, at one point it was 8-2 in favor of NU. And now the Air Force were within 1, so they needed that one. Talking about NU. Abdilla off the blockers. Again, showing everyone, showing how the young guns how to do it.
And Ranran, 3 out of 3 already, just in the short time that he was fielded in.
Remember, back in 2018, he was a finals MVP of the Spiker Surf and the season MVP in 2019. And the points starting to flow here for the Air Force, tied up at 14-all.
Ranran Abdilla definitely the game changer here in set number 2. And of course, I'm very much excited to see him go for podium again in the SEA Games for beach volley.
And silver medalist last time around. And that one, it is out, so it will go the way of Air Force. They have the lead here. Remember, they were down 8-2. What a comeback it is so far.
Ranran on his third service attempt. If I remember when we played against each other.
And that's an ace there. What a game changer You can get to that memory soon, Doc, because we have to go to a quick break here because the Air Force sends us to our second technical timeout, courtesy of this services coming from Abdilia, the veteran, showing them how it's done. 2-point lead for the Air Force. Don't go away. 2-point lead para sa Air Force. And that man has been making all the difference here. Abdilia, as you mentioned, Doc, his complexion shows that he's a beach volleyball player now, but he's showing that he can do it all indoor as well.
Even his serve, the beach volleyball jump serve is usually just a low toss and going for a lot of spin. Pero medyo nabati natin.
And of course, Abdilia giving the point back. But again, what a comeback it was for the Philippine Air Force in this frame in particular. Down 8-2 in the first technical timeout against a very young NU team that came up with so much energy. So let's see how the Air Force try to assert themselves again. Almost did it there. Bandola looking for a touch, and they get it.
So this has been working for Bandola. Like whenever he has 2 or more blockers in front of him, just using the reach to tool the block.
Trying to get it off the block, and it just sneaks in.
4th block point for NU.
Again, sharp contrast to what happened in the first frame. Again, a frame that they lost. Here, 4 block points already, and none in the first.
NU regains the lead.
Abdilia tried to go down the line, but sends it wide.
A little too much on that shoulder rotation for Ranran.
So a couple of changes here as Abdilia goes back to the bench. You know, Dito comes back on.
Once again, it's a full front line for Air Force with Dito in the front.
Jamjam Bonilla gives one back to the Air Force, who now trail by just 1. Good competition here between the two. Edwin Tolentino on the service line here. And Floresca unable to make that count. Another error. Outside at 18.
I felt the nerves in that set. A little too stiff in the hands for Floresca, just sending the ball out.
Well, you talk to any of the coaching staff of NU, they're saying that they want this group to gain experience, and what better way to do it than going up against the big guns here on Spiker's turf. Bandola just crosses, and of course that will go the way of Air Force, who regain the lead here, 19-18.
Jesse Lopez not big that set. Bandola would have gone away with murder. But the ball was still alive when he crossed it.
Edwin Tolentino, 5 points, 5 attacks. Trying to add one more here. Gabilos getting another point there off the hands of the blockers.
The ball has finally joins the scoring for NU.
It's such a big threat down the middle.
It was a good read by Calasin, but just too much power in the part of Tagbolos.
And the blocking again there for NU. And that has been the difference maker in this frame.
Just when they needed it the most, that's their 5th block just in this set, making up for the lack of blocking in the first.
Bolos, tallest member of this NU team since that long.
That is the 5th service error for NU in this set number 2. Offsetting their block points.
You know, I just need to check on how tall Tagubolos was. He is listed as 6'5". So really a tall guy here para sa NU. Ordiales able to score at the net. And si Ordiales is also 6'5", by the way. Yeah, these kids are tall, Doc. These kids are very tall.
They're still gonna grow.
They're still growing. I'm stuck at 6 foot flat. And that sneaks in there para sa Air Force. So tied up at 21 apiece. So the question is right now that we are heading to a bit of the crunch part of the frame. Who has the mental fortitude here? Naudito with the serve. Varesca with the setup. Bandola again. Block slow that down. Lopez with the set. And the point goes to the Air Force.
Labrador finally catches a point. He was a little silent here in set number 2 compared to set number 1. As NU calls for time.
Let's listen in. Interesting to hear what they have to say.
Receive tayo, labas tayo, mag-backwick ka. Okay? May backline tayo dito, may backline ka dito. Pero yung natin weak sa block ha. Yung weak ng block ha. Puntahan mo. Ha? Siguraduhin mo, mapatayin mo para tayo makaikot tayo. Ha? Go. Sige ha. Labang pa tayo sa harapan, ha?
Laban natin.
Angat nyo lang.
Oh, the huddle there for NU. Again, still full of confidence, still full of fight, trying to overcome the veterans of the Air Force. Again, just how veteran is this team? Well, the entire Air Force are born in the 90s, except for one player was born in the 80s. And for NU, all the players were born in the year 2000s, except for one who was born in 1999.
So it's millennials versus Gen Zs.
Yes, it is. Bandola! Off the block there.
And that is the specific instruction of Coach Dante in the previous timeout, is to at least separate the blockers. Ordiales going for a back quick.
For the lead here, NU. But what an answer there from the Air Force.
Labrador coming alive here towards the end of set number 2.
Just when they needed it. Or look at that, Labrador. The single block, not enough. Two points away from claiming another frame. (23-22). Abanilla. Lopez with the setup. Hard to get to, but got it across anyway. And Ordiales, one of the two Twin Towers, striking.
Ordiales 3-for-3 in the middle here in set number 2. Almost a good defensive stop from Avila with that dig.
Well, hold on to your hats, folks. 23 all, and all to play for here in set number 2. Lopez. And a meeting at the net again. And that almost sneaks through. Floresca able to save it. Abanilla. And the Air Force are now at set point.
Abria 2-for-2 also in the middle for Air Force.
Let's take a look at that again. Again, there were a lot of jousts at the net. in this particular frame, a lot more than what I'm used to seeing in men's volleyball. And at that time, the Air Force come out on top. They stuck to it. Abanilla will extend it.
Abanilla, just when needed, he was struggling all throughout set number 2. That's his second out of 8 attempts.
Hold on, folks. Trying to get the advantage here. And who will take it? 2 blockers went up, but it didn't matter for the Air Force. Now at set point once more.
Tolentino with that crazy angle from the left. And Kalasin also doing a good job baiting the blocker.
And this time we see Abdul hammers that off the hands of the blockers. 25 all. For those wondering if my partner has called 5-setter games here in Spiker Surf already, yes, he has. So yes, he does have that magic in him for extended games. And the Air Force take advantage once more, 26-25.
Kalasin finally joins the attacking score. That's his first out of 6.
So can the Air Force finally put this to bed and take the frame? Tolentino on the service line. And NU saying, let's play some more.
Abdul, 3 consecutive attack points. Gaining more confidence as the set goes on.
You can see that he has that momentum, he has that rhythm ongoing. NU trying to get the set point here. Lopez with a setup. And a point going until NU. Chance for them to steal this one.
I think the Air Force is going to challenge a touch.
So let's see whether or not they have a case here. Remember, there was a challenge a while ago that they did win. We're going to take a look at that here. So, again, credit to Air Force for coming back 8-2 down early on in the frame. But then NU, of course, keeping their cool and finding a way to stay competitive, especially here towards the end of this set. And, you know, we are wondering which team will be the coolest at this point of the ball game, and so far, each of them answering each other. So let's take a look at it here and see if they do have a point. They're looking for a block touch, and none there. So the point will still go the other way to NU. They are at set point here, trying to even things up at 1 apiece. 27-26 in favor of the Archipelago Volley Builders. Taquibolos was ready, but then the Air Force sued for time. Let's listen in.
Tanggalin mo natin yung momentum. Receive lang tayo ng maganda para makapag-play tayo. Oo.
Pero yung talon mo, papalo ka. Kasi baka kaya, pag hinabol ko sa'yo, pag nakita ko yung mablak sa'yo.
Pag hindi kaya pala, diskata. Receive mo tayo, pas mo yan. Receive mo tayo.
Well, the timing of that timeout was very intentional. Pampatanggal momentum, as mentioned earlier in the huddle. But of course, they need to have a good reception here to be able to make any frozen momentum count with NU at set point. Taquibolos trying to prove them wrong. Oh, and the hammer will extend this once more.
Labrador making up for that lost opportunity in the previous rally. Just hammering the ball straight down with single blocks.
Ordiales with the setup here. Good defense, but what can they set up? Another chance here. Abria set that up, but unable to put any real power behind it. And Ordiales, he's been big in this frame.
Yeah, 4 out of 4 attempts, 100% for Ordiales in his attacks.
When he tries, he scores. Ordiales able to give back the lead here to NU 28-27. Abdul looking to end it. Bandola, great defensive effort. He'll try to end this one, but sends it long, so we're gonna go to another point here.
Could have been the play of the game so far in this match. After that awesome dig from Bandola, just overcooking it a little bit.
I was going to say from defense straight to offense. And that's a service ace for the Air Force. Their third here of the frame.
And you not gonna challenge that. Ball just dropped straight on the line.
You know, Dito. Bandola. Oh, and the blocking right there. And they'll end it and get a 2-0 lead here. 30-28. And what a way to end it.
And that lone block point from Air Force in this match was the one that sealed the deal, courtesy of their captain, Jesse Lopez.
And what a time to get it. And now they have a 2-0 advantage. 30-28. What a great frame. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back here to the Spikers Turf, and what a second frame that was. Air Force coming from 8-2 down early on, able to manage to get it 30-28 in what has easily been the most action-packed frame that we've had so far today.
Just like in their previous encounter against the Navigators, and you started off strong in the second set, and for most of the set actually they were in control, they were in the driver's seat, but once Ranran Abdilla was subbed in, we were mentioning a while ago in the middle of the set, turned a spark plug for the Air Force. We were able to tie it up until they were able to get some advantages towards the end. But even if NU had some set points in some of the instances, Air Force were able to capitalize with back-to-back points from Labrador and that lone single block coming from Jesse Lopez, sealing the deal for set number 2.
Well, we'll take a look at the set statistics here, and a bit more normal here when you take a look at the block numbers from NU. Again, they're one of the better blocking teams, but then that one block from Air Force, that's what sealed the deal for them here.
Yeah, and more service aces coming from Air Force. just limiting the one service ace from NU, so it means that Air Force has found their groove when it comes to the passing department. And on the other hand, NU, even if they had 5 blocks, they had 5 service errors also to offset that.
Set number 3 here. NU. For NU, it'll be a test of character. For the Philippine Air Force, is to show that they have that killer instinct. Jesse Lopez with the serve here to get us going. And the first point will go the way of the Philippine Air Force, lifting, says the referee.
Lifting violation to be called on Abdul. Kick things off.
And for NU, can you keep your wits about you? The defense here shown by the Air Force. Tolentino. At that time, Floresca with the setup from the back row. Lopez setting that up for Tolentino once more. Trying to get that off the blockers, but the blockers slowed that down. This time on the other side, wala pa rin. And the floor defense has been keeping NU in this one. But that'll be, I believe, another lifting violation. A 2-touch, rather. Take a look at that again here. Try and spot that violation. Tied up at 1 apiece here. All points coming from errors until then. Tolentino would have enjoyed this one. Again, a single block, not enough. Bandola just not at the right place, as Tolentino will try to add on to the lead here of the Air Force. 8 points, 7 attacks, and a single ace. But instead, he gives it back.
First service error in the set for Air Force.
Maying Taguibolos from Tarlac, 21 years young. Trying to take down the veterans of the Air Force as Labrador ran at that one. Vanilla with the setup, and that one was overcooked, or was it touched? It was touched there according to the referee.
And that has been the bread and butter of Bandola. Probably frustrating for the blockers of Air Force that keeps on using the block to his advantage.
And you take the lead here. Taguibolos trying to add on to that. Ito naman si Labrador. Labrador showing everyone that he's got that dog in him.
Labrador going for an off-speed attack.
Right now tied up at 3 apiece here. And again, Ordiales has been so efficient in terms of scoring.
Ordiales just using that height with that power tip from the middle.
They have height, they have the length, the athleticism, talking about NU. Again, ito lang yung team B nila.
Yeah. So what more? Their team A.
And an ace there for NU. 2-point lead.
Elgar and Tolentino. Some lack of communication in there.
Abdul turns that just wide by a sliver.
Good target in the part of Abdul. Just missed it.
Now Dito trying to answer back here. Just a 1-point lead para sa NU. 4 serving 5. Just a miscue there, and tied up again at 5 apiece. Again, no strong start from either team, unlike what happened in set number 2. Floresca with the setup. And Ordiales manages to score once more. Again, when he tries, he scores.
Yeah. Ordiales proving to be the highest efficiency when it comes to attacking here for NU.
1-point lead para sa NU. But Abria able to clap back there. 6-all. No separating these two so far.
Bria's been a silent operator also here for Air Force. He has been consistent since set 1 in the scoring, be it in the block and the attack.
Kumbaga siya yung stealth bomber ng Air Force na to. And Bria able to save that. This time Tolentino sends it free the other way. Zoresca with the setup. And NU regained the lead.
Vanilla finally ends that long rally with that spike over the block to zone 6.
And good effort for both these teams so far. Neither team really giving up on any single point. Floresca with the setup. And that definitely was overcooked. Too much
Vanilla.
mustard.
And missed contact on the ball.
We'll see Abria on the service line.
Abria is also a veteran beach volleyball player.
And Bandola able to get another one in. 8-7 right now in favor of NU. And we go to our first technical timeout, and that one is good from Bandola. But again, nothing really separating these two here going in the first technical timeout, so don't go away.
Paolo and Doc AJ in the huddle right before this third set. Dalawang paalala ni Coach Dante Alinsunurin para sa players niya. Number 1 is to lessen their errors kasi dun daw nagkakaroon ng kumpiyansa ang kalaban nila and it halts their momentum. Number 2 is he wants to see more of those triple blockings. How do you guys think they're doing so far, Paolo and Doc AJ?
Salamat, Doreen. And of course, you know, minimizing those errors are always going to be a key part of any team's victory. But then, what we're seeing right now, both teams just really refusing to let the other one go, Doc.
Yeah, and actually when it comes to the errors, NU already gave away 4 errors, which is more than half of the points of Air Force.
So something to continue to watch out for here as we count down their errors. Sin able to save that one, and that time off the blocks.
Labrador off to a good start compared to his set number 2. He's already 2 out of 4 attempts.
Labrador able to get that through. Jesse Lopez with the serve there. Floresca will set this one up to the wing, and ooh, what a save there coming from Lopez. Floresca again with the setup. Tolentino set up just behind him by a slip by a bit. And that one sent long by Abdul.
Abdul continues to struggle here in set number 3. 2 errors out of 5 attempts with no success yet.
At ito na po ang Air Force with the lead here, 9-8. Jesse Lopez with the serve. And Abdilia jam.
Vanilla once again finding zone 6.
Well, Vanilla able to tie it up here. We'll try to get another one from the service line. And I'm almost in there. Definitely a miscue there. Whistle came in from Kalasin.
gonna be, the referee would call it a lifting violation on Kalasin.
There's a look at that violation again. So 1-point lead para sa NU after that error. And that's how you make up for it.
Jesse Lopez confident that Kalasin will make up for it. But 2 back-to-back perfect passes from Labrador nonetheless.
Tied up at 10-all. Tolentino. You go to the wing again. Melgar able to save that, but it'll be a free ball here. Almost a miscue there for the Air Force. And that will be another error para sa NU. And, you know, Doreen was telling us a while ago that they wanted to minimize errors, but so far, falling on deaf ears.
Yeah, because it's these errors that are more glaring because it's a free ball. They have all the opportunity to mount an offensive. But gotta give a lot of credit to the floor defense. Jesse Lopez is showing a lot of digs coming in from him.
And a whistle blown here, not quite sure what. So the referees are gonna confer as we take a look at that previous sequence. According to them, the point will go to NU.
Probably a net touch violation called on NU.
So 11-all right now. Nip and tuck between Air Force and NU. Lopez there to clean that up. They'll try again, that time off the blockers. Kept alive, Loresca with the setup.
Abdul finally scores his first here in set number 3.
Well, he's been trying over and over again and finally finds success. Gibolos to serve para sa NU. 12 serving 11. Labrador. Good defense coming from NU. And just sent that across. Bandola, who has been one of the more consistent threats here para sa NU, getting the point.
Yeah, Bandola, high efficiency here in this set number 3. 3 out of 5 attempts, whopping 60%.
Gibolos. The service line para sa NU. 2-point lead. Labrador. There is an audible ooh and ah when Labrador comes up to hit that one.
Labrador packing a lot of power in that attack. Also, Mordel's in to just leave him with one block.
Kalasin with the serve. As Air Force will try to tie it up with this one. And able to get the point there. A touch against the Air Force. As we take a look at that once more, and there's the touch. Go back to Labrador, who has been the hot hand para sa Air Force dito.
4 out of 8. Big 50% efficiency for JR Labrador, making up for some lost opportunities in the previous set.
See, JR has been the go-to guy here for the Air Force in the third frame. And a chance here for the Air Force to regain the lead here, tied up at 14-all.
Second time around to happen, that miscue between Floresca and Ordiales in this match. Height can only do so much.
Floresca with the setup. Send that wide to Bandola. And Bandola has been the difference maker in this set.
Crazy numbers here in set number 3. 5 clean attacks, or 5 attacks out of 7 attempts. No errors there.
Tomas Labrador ulit. And the blocking does its job, and it just sneaks in and stays inside.
Finally, a much-needed stop by NU.
A 2-point lead here for NU, going to our second technical timeout. The blocking, as you can see, stays in, and we'll be right back.
Paolo and Doc AJ, aminado si Mac Bandola that there was a bit of frustration from his side after they lost Game 2, and an even bigger source of frustration for him was that nagtatalo daw sila at nagsisisihan on the court when things were going wrong for NU. They felt like they disappointed their coaches, their supporters, their seniors with the way they played. And personally for Mac, he felt like he committed one too many errors. That's why coming into this game, Mac is resolved na wag masyado mataranta para hindi siya mag-commit ng maraming errors and to play in such a way that he won't have any regrets after this game. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Doreen. And of course, easier said than done. Keeping cool, not blaming other people on the floor, especially when things aren't going right. And of course, that will come with experience. And of course, everything going right in that block para sa NU.
And the numbers for Bandola here in this set number 3 are proving his state of mind right now as he continues to serve for NU.
17-14 here. And of course, para sa Air Force, they bring in Abdilia, who's unable to get that past the net.
A little too short on the set for Ranran.
Again, si Ranran Abdilia made the big difference in the second frame para sa Philippine Air Force. But this time around, let's see if he can still have an impact here because NU are starting to pull away. Bandola, what a serve. Set up, looking for Abdilia. Well, he's not going to have back-to-back errors with a set like that.
Abdilia quick to recognize that it was an offset. Just making some adjustments with his attempt.
Avila in the game again to serve. And 32 years young. Against players who, some of them may be 23, and sends that a bit wide.
Costly error in the part of Air Force as they give another 4-point lead to NU.
19-15. NU trying to stay the course here. So Ordiales, 9 points already, 7 attacks, a block, and an ace. Can he get a second ace here? Yes, he can. And the miscommunication there forces a timeout from the Philippine Air Force. Take a look at that again. Yeah, no one really coming close to it. So let's listen in.
Karga pero pasok. Diba? Target. Target din tayo, short ball. Ha? Puro lagi dun eh. Puro lagi tayo sa one.
Sa atin yung ginagawa natin sa
Diba?
Just kayo.
Just. Ano pa yan? 5 lang yan. 5 lang. Unti-untiin natin, ha?
Andanin natin.
Tara.
Nice, 5. 5.
Lima lang daw. And of course, the Air Force will try and inch their way back closer. As the Archipelago Volley Builders will try to finally steal a set and extend this contest. Tolentino off the blockers.
Finally stops the bleeding. But still a 4-point deficit to make up for.
A very little wiggle room here, talking about the Philippine Air Force if they want to take down NU in this set. Floresca with the setup from the back. And that was hit with so much venom there, 21-16.
6 out of 8 attempts.
Makita natin ulit.
For Bandola.
And Bandola came out with violence on his mind in this set. Service out there.
A much needed breather for Air Force. As they will mount a full front line again with these two substitutions.
Lopez will check back in. Now Dito also comes in. Ancheta and Abdilia will go back to the bench. Jesse Lopez with the serve. Floresca going to the wing. Blocking slows that down. Melgar sends that straight up to Lopez. And off the block once more.
Dito with his first point here in set number 3. Much needed one for Air Force.
To Ben and Audito. See if he can add on a couple more. 18 serving 21. Looking for Bandola again, and Bandola has just been too good.
Bandola overpowering the floor. And bad news for Air Force as he moves up front.
Abadilla with the serve. Now Dito ran straight at that one.
Back-to-back points for Ruben Dito.
Can they string a couple more? Down by 3 here, 22-19.
Perhaps their strongest front line, full front for Air Force.
Edwin Tolentino. And that time, NU reasserting themselves here, 2 points away from their first frame of the night.
NU playing a good side-out game.
And Air Force call for time, looking to end their momentum and looking to find a bit of their own.
Guys, end game ha, end game ha. Mas focus pa dapat.
Kaya pa yan. Tara. Air Force.
Trying to, of course, get the better of this end game here that we're seeing.
Wala pang tres. Ano lang, babalik 4 yan ha. Sige.
And of course, NU wanting to stop them from finding any sort of rhythm here towards the end. 23-19. NU 2 points away from their first frame. Gibolos on the service line. Melgar setting that one up. Blockers slow that down. Abdul sending it the other way. And off the blockers again. Didn't need a lot of power, but that's enough to take them to set point.
That's Bandola's favorite shot when it's off system. Use the blockers.
And a chance here for NU to take their first set. Labrador says not yet. So the question now is, can the Air Force string 4 more points together? Ralph Calasin on the service line, having to be perfect from here on in. Goreska with the serve, the blocking. It does not stay in, and NU have their first frame here, 25-20 in favor of the Young Guns here today. And 25-20 is how that one will end, and it felt like that ball hung in the air forever, as the Air Force right now will try to take one back in the fourth and finally seal the match. Don't go away, a lot more to come. (25-20) here between NU and the Air Force in set number 3. And this was more like it if you're NU, able to find a bit of momentum and just stop Air Force in their tracks. Competitive start here between these two, but then in the end it was NU who finally found their rhythm first.
Well, it's a Mac Bandola show in set number 3. 8 whopping points out of 10 attempts with no error, so that's a big 80% efficiency alone. He had some help from Ordiales, Vanilla and Tagubolos, but on the other hand, Labrador tried to match the output of Bandola, but they were not able to mount up some blocks or aces compared to 2 apiece for NU, and NU just had more attack points than Air Force, and that enabled them to snatch a set here in this match.
Well, let's see if Bandola can continue his hot run of form in that last frame. Again, here are the numbers. Just 2 block points for NU as well as 2 service aces. At one point, it felt like the opponent's errors would go the way for Air Force because NU were giving quite a bit to them. But let's see whether or not if that can change here, especially early on in set number 4. Again, it is NU trailing 2-1 against the Air Force. And Air Force, all they need to do now is see this one off to claim their first win of the conference.
Some changes in the lineup of Air Force. Tolentino subbed out for Abdilia.
And Abdilia gets the point. It's Air Force on the board first. And, you know, Abdilia has come off the bench here for sets 1, 2, and 3. Here in set number 4, the first one is going to start. Let's see if he can give them an early boost, as Abdul will unable to get to that, sends it free. Lopez going the other way. Abanilla setting that up from the back. Dealt with there. Lopez set that up. Wala pa rin. Naman si Abanilla. Jam. Not a lot of power needed.
Abanilla once again ending a long rally.
And makita natin si Abanilla saw the 2 blockers and did just enough to finesse that in the middle.
Just using the height to advantage.
Lopez with the setup. And off the blockers there. You know, Dito getting his first of the frame.
Dito just squeezing that ball past Tagibolos.
And that was well dealt with there. Tough serve to deal with. Badola. Not that time. And the blocking again for NU comes to play after a first frame where they got none. It has been one of their deadliest weapons here in this matchup.
No room there for Labrador as Tagibolos was pressed into the net.
Tagibolos has been a big contributor here para sa NU. And the blocking doing its job there for NU, slowing that down and sending it the other way. And that time off the hands of Bandola, wala siyang magawa.
Labrador making up for the previous attempt with that sharp angle.
Sharp angle there again, Bandola. A while ago we saw a great play defensively for him, but this time, not much he can do about that. Bandola again.
A touch violation to be called on Kalasin.
Again, take a look at that again. So 3-all here between these two competitors looking for their first win of the Open Conference. Lopez with the back set and the blocking again. Bandola and Ordiales combining, and the point will be awarded to Ordiales.
And no room there for Inaudito. I think the ball was way too short for him, asking to have it set near the antenna so he has more room.
1-point lead para sa NU. Trying to set themselves up again. Bandola off speed, not that time. Lopez with a setup off the hands of the blocker, slowed down. Mahabol ba kaya? And this will be set free. Great dig there. Kept alive. Bandola looking to end it. To the wing this time. Was there a touch? No, there wasn't. The point will go to NU.
Gotta give a lot of credit to the floor defense of NU.
Well, the 3 blockers came up, and that was enough to deter that shot. 2-point lead para sa NU. Lopez with the setup to the wing and blocking yet again, but then the point will go the other way as Air Force trailed by just 1. Nanatan ulit. So there's going to be a challenge here off that block. Medyo confident yung NU with this challenge. Of course, take a look at the total block points here. So far, 9-3 in favor of the NU Archipelago Volley Builders. That should be our 10th. Let's take a look at that again. Good challenge here coming from NU. They push their lead up further. Successful challenge here. Can't be comfortable though. Kung nalalo nyo, in set number 2, they did lead 8-2, but then lost that frame later on. Again, the referee checking to see whether or not it was touched or if it's in, so have to be careful here. Makita ulit natin. Definitely long, but was there a touch? And the point will go to the Air Force. There's a ball touch there. Sabi ng referee.
And you will not challenge it.
6-4. Pabor sa NU. 4 serving 6. A lot of power, and that one just sneaks in under the body of Labrador.
Abdul getting fired up with that back row attack.
And a single block, not enough. Magawa si Labrador. 7-4, 3-point lead. Bandola, 24 points already. Lopez with a setup to Labrador. And that point will go back to the Air Force, trailing by just 2 now.
Labrador just using a roll shot. He has been checked a lot of times with his attacks. Just using his smarts on that attack.
Si Labrador has been the favorite option so far in this frame. Abanilla. Now be a net touch. And 8-5 right now in favor of the NU-ARCHIPELAGO Volley Builders. As we go to our first technical timeout here with Air Force, trying to play catch-up once more.
Despite their 2-game losing skid, Air Force team captain Jesse Lopez was confident in the way his teammates will respond to adversity dahil sanay sila sa mga pagsubok, especially in their line of work. But Jesse admits na hindi madali sa kanya matalo. Even back in college, hindi daw siya talaga sanay matalo. But as a team captain, a kuya, and one of the veterans in the team, ang reminder ni Jesse sa team in this game is to just enjoy it, whatever the score is, and to be patient in their progress as they work on building the winning ways of Air Force again. Your thoughts, guys?
Maraming salamat, Doreen. And of course, they've gone through a lot of adversity. But then it is now, in particular, after this Abilia hit, giving the adversity to NU.
Straight to the chest of Ordiales.
Of course, that is going to be a highlight for sure. Abanilla off speed, and they could not save it. 9-6 right now in favor of NU. And you know, these types of off-speed hits from multiple NU players actually have been giving this Air Force team a lot of trouble. Sent straight to the net here, so Air Force come within 2.
Lucky break for Air Force. That first service error of NU in this 4th set.
Jesse Lopez, as you mentioned, Doreen's report, used to going through adversity. Of course, trying to enjoy every moment. Let's see if they can give something to enjoy here, and Abanilla could not save it. You had to feel for Ranlan. Kung wala kasi aning adboard doon, siguro nabuto mo rin niya. Let's take a look at that again. So NU will take that point back, hitting double digits here first in set number 4.
Back-to-back service errors for NU, keeping Air Force at bay.
Ranran Abilia on the service line here. Again, such a powerful serve. And that's a powerful reply coming from NU's. Bandola, my goodness, he's been so big here for NU.
Bandola just seeing that gap between the spikers.
Bolos on the service line, already with 6 points and a single ace as well as a block. And Labrador finding a way to sneak that in. Take a look at that once more. 2 blockers, doesn't matter.
Substitution for Air Force. Nino Jerus coming in for Abria.
And you know, just making sure the protocol is right. Yeah. Importante po yun. Jerus with the serve. And the point will go back to Air Force. So all of a sudden they trail by just 1 here. A chance to tie the ball game.
Floresca trying to go for a quick back set.
Jerus with the serve. Ordiales.
Ordiales making quick work with that one-on-one attack.
Let's see Ordiales' first point of the frame. And his first attempt, really. So 2-point lead para sa NU. And Ordiales was there to clean things up again. Take a look at that again. Such an imposing front line.
That's the 4th block point for NU here in set number 4.
Yeah, what a difference their blocking makes. Remember, in their first frame, they did not have a single block, and this time another .1 at the net. I believe it'll be Ordiales who will claim this one. 14-10, Air Force Sioux for time, and why not? The momentum all the way in NU's favor after Ordiales strings together a few points.
Sige! Dapat medyo mataas para makasabay ko yung quick mo. Pag medyo mataas kasi sumasabay-sabay. Sige lang, okay lang. Okay, spin.
Kunin lang natin yung first ball ulit. Lumayo sila sa misreceive natin. Receive tayo muna ulit para maka-atake tayo ng maganda. Tapos dahandahanin natin.
Again, looking to get that first ball right. And according to their coaching staff, lahat ng mga puntos ng NU wala sa mga misreceived ng Air Force. So let's see whether or not they can address that sooner rather than later. Again, NU up by 4 here, 14-10. And eager to extend that even further and force a set number 5. Abdul. And that's better coming from the Air Force.
Labrador finding a lot of success in his previous attempts. That's his 4th consecutive attack.
Another look at that, no question about it. Pandola. Again, he scores in so many different ways.
The ball was actually sailing over the net already. Just had a lot of hang time.
Able to sneak it in. Lopez with the setup. That was close there for Abanilla. And still alive here. They go to the other side. Trying to move things around. From the back. Off speed. Did not work. Ito naman si Abanilla.
Abanilla finding that corner in zone 1.
And all the momentum going the way of NU 16-11 and sending us their second technical timeout. Don't go away. Welcome back. You're still watching Spiker Surf with NU leading 16-11 against Air Force. Remember, Air Force actually had a 2-0 lead in terms of sets, but then NU have woken up and have found different ways to cause so much trouble against the Philippine Air Force Airmen. Mac Bandola, him especially. My goodness, what a serve.
Mac Bandola firing a bullet straight out of timeout.
Couple of substitutions here for the Air Force as they try to right the ship. As we, of course, I mean, take a look at Mac Bandola. For those wondering what he's done in the past, again, UAP Juniors titles back-to-back in season 81 and 82, and both times named finals MVP. This guy has got the goods. For those wondering why he hasn't had a lot of playing time, well, the people in front of him, well, Nico Almendras, Michael Budin, and of course, as we were praising him, the point goes back to Air Force. Labrador with the serve here, sends it straight back to the net and returns the point.
Costly error for Air Force. Something that they cannot afford as the lead balloons to 6.
And the set is slowly slipping out of their hands here. 6-point lead with NU at 18. Ordiales will get the point back. Error after error after error. Who can keep their game clean?
Fourth service error in the part of NU.
Galasin on the service line para sa Philippine Air Force. Oh, and managed to send that across. Meeting at the net, no good. And that will go the way of NU. Lifting, says the Philippine Air Force. Says the referee to the Philippine Air Force. All right, let's take a look at that again.
A lifting violation to be called on Edwin Tolentino.
Either way, 6-point lead restored para sa NU, 19-13. Conversations being had right now. Torresca with the serve. And that will be for the Air Force. Because tumama po sa overhead lighting natin dito for those who did not see it on camera.
Gonna be called out of bounds.
Edwin Tolentino on the service line, trying to make up some time here for Air Force. Better coverage here coming from the airmen. Lang, good save. Bandola. And the blocking right there, right place, right time.
Finally, Bandola gets stopped.
Yan po ang kauna-unang block point ng Air Force dito sa set na to.
Nino Jerus just showing height in the middle.
Tolentino lining this one up again. And lined it up just too far.
Another costly error. At this point, Air Force cannot afford those service errors.
2015 in favor of NU. Couple of substitutions here as Lopez checks back in alongside Enodito. Technically, still not out of touch here, talking about NU and Air Force. Just 5 points away, but then NU already at 20. Lopez with a setup. Off speed, almost there. Mac Bandola. Oh my goodness.
Quick recognition in the part of Bandola with that 1-2 play.
Of course, and what a heads-up play there from Tagobolos as well. That's a quick timeout. Let's listen in.
Gusto natin na maganda. Tingnan mo, pinapahirapan ang sarili natin habang tumatagal. Siyempre, hindi naman tayo ganun kakondisyon eh. Tsagayin natin. Dahan-dahanin natin. Alam ko, pagod na kayo eh. Dandanin natin, receive muna. Magandang pasa para makapag-play tayo maganda. Oh, malayo pa yan. Sige.
Hey, AIRFORCE!
Well, aminado naman sila na pagod na sila. Talking about the Air Force. And of course, pushing through the fatigue is going to be a big factor here. Let's see if Air Force can do that. They're used to adversity, as what Jesse Lopez mentioned a while ago to our Doreen Toy Baguio. Lopez could not find Abdilia there. So 3 points away from making this a 5-setter. NU looking to make them pay. And of course, you know, a lot of familiarity here between these two. NU and the Air Force. And the Air Force return the point. NU rather return the point to Air Force.
Fifth service error for NU, but something that they can afford, definitely.
Abdilia. Agubolos once again scoring at the net, his second point of the set.
Everyone just contributing to the cause for set number 4 for NU. Much more balanced outputs from all attackers.
Well, you have to feel this is almost a battle of attrition here. Itong NU, the fresher, more conditioned team, taking advantage of the Air Force who are running out of steam. Macbandola that time. No good. From the back row, still alive here. Sent the other way, but sent too wide.
Everything going the way of NU.
And NU trying to make my partner's record here in Spikers Turf. 2 games, 2 5-setters with this set point. Gibolos with a setup. Sends that free. And Ordiales and Bandola both jumped, but none of them took it.
Usually it's the middle's job already.
I think that's what they were referring to, see Bandola pointing at Ordiales. And that'll do it for the frame, and another 5-setter here. NU take it 25-17 against an Air Force that just ran out of steam. And of course, NU will be looking to take the momentum 2 sets straight in favor of NU against an Air Force team that are struggling at the moment. Set number 5 when we return, don't go away. number 5 coming right up between NU and Air Force. Again, it was Air Force who struck first in the first 2 frames, and the next 2 were taken by NU. Let's take a look what happened in set 4. Visibly, nakita natin napagod na ang Air Force, and we're gonna find out in set number 5 whether or not they could make a bigger difference here in terms of their energy and in terms of having that second win here in this ballgame.
NU just showing a lot of firepower, 25 compared to 17 outputs of Air Force. And NU just showing again why they're a good blocking team, 5 against 1 of Air Force, and chipping in 1 service ace also. So on the other hand, Air Force just relying on Villa and Labrador for those attempts. Not much output from Inaudito and the middles, and just costly errors one after the other for Air Force.
So right now, we're gonna see whether fitness is going to be a bigger factor here. So right before this ball game, as we take a look at the set 4 statistics here, the blocking again in NU's favor as expected, 5 blocks to just 1. The service ace just 1 for NU, but opponent's errors just even here. It was really the attacking and the blocking that made a big difference here for NU. But here, when it matters more, in the 5th and final frame, let's see whether or not Air Force could make up the numbers.
Another shuffling of positions for Air Force. Tolentino back to the first open hitter position. Abilia now in the second open hitter position. Labrador relegated to the first middle.
Jesse Lopez with the first serve. And Abdul just hammers that off the blockers.
Once again, gonna be tricky to put up a single block against a lefty like Abdul.
Take a look at that again, and this one hit with so much mustard. It had chili, it had, you know, those really fancy Dijon mustard put it into that one. Lopez sending that to wide, and the block unable to stay in, so tied up at 1 apiece here.
Inaudito returns the favor, tooling the block.
Alam mo, Doc, right before this set in particular, normally it's NU does a lot of yelling, trying to get each other pumped up. Air Force saw that and imitated it and trying to get some energy of their own. And they're trying to showcase that here early on in set number 5. Bandola runs straight into the net.
Set was a little too tight for Bandola. He scraped the net.
Momentum took him straight to it. And the Air Force trying to strike back here, trying to get an early lead. Bandola again, and it hits the antenna.
Not the time for Bandola to make some attacking errors.
And for NU, you could hear them. If you're at the venue, you could see them trying to calm each other down. 2-point lead for the Air Force. Is this their second win? Is this their momentum? Setting this up. Straight to Bandola again. Off speed, no good. Abilia. Maklang with the setup. And it is all Air Force here early in set number 5.
Ranran Abilia dominant at the net right now.
Take a look at that once more. Wins that one. And nothing NU could do to save it. Air Force trying to reassert themselves here. Bandola. What a save there. Buhay pa rin dito. They go to the other side. Abilia, a bit of a smile right before he hit that, but then unable to get it across the tape.
Ball is a little too wide from the net to his liking. So no room for Abilia to wind up his approach.
Two-point lead still for Air Force here. Mr. Kibolos will try to stop the momentum that Air Force just had. But instead, he gives a point straight back.
That is the third team error for NU. which is exactly the lead of Air Force right now.
Abria to serve here. Ordiales finding a way to keep that alive. Abdilia able to push that across, and he has come up big here in set number 5.
Abdilia just using a power tip off that off-system attack.
Of course, class is permanent when you talk about Abdilia. Again, former MVP. Bandola finally gets one through. After 4 attempts, gets one in.
Ordiales pulling the block, leaving just, Dito against Bandola.
Still a 3-point lead here for the Air Force as NU will try to string a couple together. Lopez with a setup to Abdilia. Hernandez setting that up a bit too wide for Bandola, but he gets that across anyway. Abdilia again!
And that Jesse Ran connection working wonders here for Air Force. Look how fast those attacks are.
And it's easy to see why Abdilia's quality can't be replaced. And there he is again, coming up big, and the energy all in favor of the Air Force. 8-3.
4 big points for Abdilia just in this set alone.
Take a look at that, and boy, oh boy, Abdilia in one of his better performances here throughout this contest. And such energy coming from the Air Force. Again, this is almost like a scrimmage for both these two teams. He's Jesse Lopez, he's an assistant for Coach Dante. So really, everything is in-house. And of course, the old guard here refusing to bow down to the young guns, the new blood. And right now, there is a timeout called on the floor here. So let's listen in.
Sabi ko kasi gawa mo ng paraan yung una eh. Okay? One good receive lang tayo. Nasa harapan si Coach Jesse nyo. Lamang na lamang tayo. Yun lang ha. Resibuan tayo. Okay? Importante, hindi natin pasukan natin ng A. Ba't tayo? Okay? 3 ikot yan. Makakuha tayo ng 2 lagi bawat ikot 3. Aabutan natin yan. Okay? Bago umikot si Coach Jesse nyo, dapat mahabol natin. Okay? Tsagain natin ha. Sige.
Again, such is the respect shown to Jesse Lopez that, remember, Coach Jesse, this is very in-house between Air Force and NU. And of course, you have to always watch out for Jesse Lopez. 8-3 in favor of Air Force. Abdilia has been a monster here in set number 5. Lopez has set him up a couple of times already. Floresca with a setup here. Bandola. Oh, what a save there. Air Force refusing to give up. Jesse Lopez sends that wide. Floresca with another setup here. The blocking does not stay in. Bandola getting another point here. Take a look at that again.
Good positioning in the part of Lopez, but Bandola just had too much power in that.
Speaking of Bandola, here to serve. 4 serving 8. Lopez with a setup to Labrador, and that one goes out.
Labrador a little surprised also. At some point in his career, he was also a middle.
And you know, you could see the smile on his face as soon as he saw that go out. Delia. Floresca with a setup. They go wide again. Off speed. Save that time. They go back to Abdilia. Back row. Car with the save. Lopez. Who does he find? Tolentino. First point of Tolentino here, getting that off the block.
Air Force showing a lot of veteran stops, using blocks to their advantage.
Abdilia, strong serve. Kept alive, back row. Lopez, who does he look for here? Tolentino again! And Air Force are in the ascendancy, in full control here. Who says they're tired?
Air Force just in complete domination here in set number 5.
Abdilia with the serve here. He's been a monster in set number 5. Lopez with the setup to Tolentino!
3 back-to-back points for Tolentino.
And all of a sudden, Air Force, lahat ng pagod nila nawala as NU call for time again.
Hindi mo na yaman yung namin kasi dalawa lang spiker eh. Wala nang backline eh. Okay, hindi tayo makareceive. Kaya lang problema tayo. May pagkakataon tayong maka-opensa, kaya lang lagi ng misreceive tayo. Kaya ang bola natin, tinutulak na natin pa rin. Importante, mahatid lang. Sa receive na into tayo. Okay, para makontrol ni Christian yung opensa natin. Okay? One good receive lang. Receive 1 tayo. Either o backline. Pwede ka sumugal dito. Okay, pag-alanganin, sugal ka rito sa kabila. Kasi si Ajay. Kaya ni Ajay pumatay. Pero kat pare.
Si puso tayo, puso. Tara, kapit!
NU trying to summon one more big fight in them as he tried to take over and stop the momentum of Air Force. Tolentino has been amazing. Abdilia has been amazing, as well as Jesse Lopez. The funny thing is, we ask all these players to give their favorite local player ahead of time. Abdilia, favorite player, Jesse Lopez. Tolentino, favorite player, Jesse Lopez. Jesse Lopez, wala siyang favorite na local player.
Himself is
Himself, maybe. And all of a sudden, Air Force, even the blocking working for them here. Take a look at that again. I believe it's Jesse Lopez who got it.
Yeah.
Lopez with the setup, looking for Tolentino. Oh, and Tolentino hit that with a hammer, 1 point away from claiming the match.
The veterans of Air Force just schooling the youngsters of NU right now. But a lot of credit also to this service of Ran. I remember in my first and last playing in Spiker Surf 2019, we were up against Air Force in the finals with Signal, and Ran gave us a lot of headache.
And that will do it here as Air Force just dominate set number 5, 15-4. And what a win it is for Air Force, their first of the conference. And they do it against the young guns here. This is almost a scrimmage for the two teams, being so familiar with each other. But it is the oldies who take it. Pardon the term, but the millennials beat Gen Z.
Yeah.
3-2, 15-4 in set number 5. When we return, much more analysis. Don't go away.
Mic check, mic check. Hello, hello. Mic check, mic check, mic check.
between our two teams coming off a 2-game losing skid. It was the Philippine Air Force that was finally able to stop the bleeding. And I am here with the best player of the game, Jesse Lopez. Kilalang kilala niyo to. Jesse, congratulations on the win. You guys were up 2 sets and then nakahabol yung NU sa 3rd and 4th set. What did coach tell you guys? What were you guys telling each other coming to the 5th set?
Kasi lagi naman namin sinasabi na pag naglalaro kami, volleyball is a game of adjustment. So, kailangan namin mag-adjust. So, yung kalaban, alam din naman namin na si Coach Dante galing din sa Air Force. So, nag-adjust sila. Kaya nakakuha din sila sa amin ng set. And then, talagang makikita mo din kasi na kulang din talaga kami sa condition. Pero, lumabas pa rin yung pagka-veterans and experience namin pagdating sa game.
Of course. Jesse, from a team captain's point of view, ano yung pinaka-proud ka na makita galing sa team mo tonight?
Siyempre yung push nila hanggang huli kasi alam naman namin na wala talaga kami pat doon sa peak namin pero at least kahit paano nanalo kami ngayon. So magandang moral para sa Air Force to at the same time sa team namin na push pa kami hanggang sa mga susunod na game.
Jesse, any greetings?
Yun, binabati ko pala yung family ko, siyempre Lopez family sa Santa Cruz, Laguna, siyempre Aquino and family sa Malabon, and siyempre wife ko, Christine, and yung mga kids ko. Hello sa inyo. See you sa bahay.
Thank you and congratulations again to you, Jesse, and to the Philippine Air Force. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. That was Jesse Lopez, our best player of the game, alongside Doreen Baguio. What a game we just saw here. The Air Force falling short in sets 3 and 4, but then set number 5. Sinabi nila pagod sila at the end of set number 4. Didn't seem like that here in set number 5, Doc.
Yeah, definitely Air Force digging deep or soaring high in the 5th set. Jesse Lopez just making masterful decision-making with his attacks. Ranran Abilia was phenomenal in the service line, giving a lot of trouble for NU to mount their attacks with his services, and Tolentino just showing a lot of firepower towards the end with some back-to-back points.
Different weapons here for the Air Force in set number 5. In fact, NU it felt like they had no real reply. A bit of frustration here. Used 2 timeouts, but take a look at this. This just showcases the dominance here of the Philippine Air Force.
Just a masterclass from the Millennials. Attacks 10 compared to 3, and just capitalizing on the errors of NU and just winning in dominant fashion here in set number 5.
Clean as well. That's right. The Millennials take down Gen Z. Remember, all these Air Force players are veterans. In fact, some of them do coach NU. So this is very much an in-house victory, and one I'm sure that they will take pride on in the next coming days. Of course, Spikers Turf Open Conference continues on Wednesday. Still here at the Paco Arena Events and Sports Center. Vanguard against Army up first, followed by Santa Rosa against Cotabato for the 2nd game. Still a doubleheader, and we can't wait to see you there. If you can't join us, of course, watch us on One Sports and One Sports Plus, as well as Signal Play and the Smart live stream. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Paul De Rosario, joined by Doc AJ Parea, and our courtside report today was Doreen Baguio. We'll see you again in the next match day.